We'll go ahead and have word for our here. Welcome, join us if you'd like to. If you would, that's your thing. Lord, we bow in presence and thank you for this day that you blessed us with. Thank you for allowing us to meet today. We do ask for your protection in this situation that's affecting our communities. We ask, Lord, to depend upon that. Pray for our first responders over in harm's way. We ask for those who receive trouble and need help today that you be with them. That's all that's for. Amen. We'll have a pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank y'all for joining us today for our September 12th meeting of Jackson County Fiscal Court. Very unusual time right now with what's going on in our neighboring county, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we'll have Mr. Goodmore read the minutes for our previous two meetings.
Okay, we'll do it. Shane Gabbard called me or minutes of July the 11th, 24, were read and approved with a motion by Bond and Todd. Shane Gabbard presented the county tax rates to be set at a compensating rate .062. Motion by Bond, second by Baker. Shane Gabbard presented a resolution and agreement to resurface Black Wick Road. Motion by Bond, second by Todd. Shane Gabbard presented the treasurer's bills and transfers. Motion by Bond to approve, second by Todd. Set the next meeting September the 12th, 1 o'clock. Motion to adjourn by Bond, second by Baker. I got another. Shane Gabbard called me in order. The minutes were approved by Bond and Todd. Shane Gabbard presented Flake's resolution and agreement. Motion by Bond, second by Todd. Shane Gabbard presented an interlocal agreement for Buffalo Road. Motion by Bond, second by Baker. Motion to adjourn by Bond, second by Baker. Son, that's pretty exciting. Short and sweet.
State motion, accept the minutes is read. Motion. Thank you, Tim. All right, before I get into my judge's report, we have Nick Sidemore with us that is with the annual 4th of July parade committee, and he has brought us a report. There's 2 sets of minutes there, guys. Y'all need me. And they had what I understand, Nick, is y'all had about a bigger crowd than you've ever had for the 4th of July parade this year. And we did make a donation from our LGA funds, and we can't do that for community events, $5,000. They estimated about 1,500 people that came to the parade and celebration this year, and a record number of parade recipients. The Jeep community really came out and done a big portion in that. Local vendors did very well. They unanimously agreed it's a successful event and will return next year. Looking at a new event this year with the addition of music and celebration. So y'all have scheduled Eric Molander and Shane Winkler to perform during the event. They were well received. And so you're going to do this again in 25. You'll have some live music. So they're working on making funding to make improvements to the stage area. Grace Covenant Ministries provided venue free of charge, as well as open the pool to the public for free. The detention center was a huge help in setting up tables and tents prior to the event. And they want to thank the fiscal court for the donation. And as always, they want to continue to be great stewards of the funding. They have provided us with bank statements of what they spent money on, and also their balance sheet there of what they're doing with the money. So we are excited that the event went that well. Nick, you got anything to add to that? Or?
Yeah, just on behalf of the annual parade committee, I just want to say thank you guys for coming on board with us to allow us to do this and put this on. It's become a big event for Amble. It's something that I know my mom, Ruthie, she has enjoyed starting this back up. It used to be a great thing years ago. It started back up, started as a very small event, as just a little family parade, and it just keeps growing each year. And so we really appreciate you guys making it possible for us to put this on in Amble. And I love to see big things happen in Amble, in McKee, and Sand Gap, and Greyhawk, and all these places. I love seeing Jackson County succeed, and we thank you guys for everything you did for us. So,
Thank you, Dean. Appreciate you all being good stewards of the funding that was given to you. We're glad to be a sponsor in that event. Y'all got anything to add?
appreciate what you do.
Yeah. All right, we'll move right along to the agenda, the judge's report. Our area of Eastern Kentucky is facing a situation that I do not recall us ever facing before. On Saturday, September 7th, our neighbors in northern Morrow County encountered an active shooter incident around Interstate 75 that created numerous injuries and fear throughout several counties. Several citizens were placed on lockdown, and a subsequent manhunt was started to try and locate the suspected shooter. The suspect was armed and dangerous and had made threats and desired to kill any innocent people. The search is still ongoing and has resulted in the closure of the Shell Tally Trace Trail that runs through Jackson County, closing the Jackson County Public Schools and several community events. This has caused a strain on Jackson County resources in a situation like we have before us. So after meeting with Jackson County School Superintendent Renee Smith and then Director James Strong, I felt it best to declare a state of emergency for Jackson County as of today, September 12, 2024. The declared state of emergency will assist Jackson County Public Schools in obtaining emergency days if needed, and will assist the fiscal court in obtaining precious resources for first responders in the event the search for the shooter does take a turn into Jackson County. At this point, the suspect could be anywhere, and law enforcement officials are doing everything they can to locate the person of interest. As Judge Executive, one of my top priorities is public safety. I felt we needed to be proactive in this situation in the event we do have an active search happen in Jackson County. If this does happen, we will keep our community informed as it goes along in order to maintain a safe community for our citizens as well as our first responders. So I'm just trying to be proactive in this. You know, I think that public safety should be one of the number one priorities. And the fiscal court has always agreed on this. And Laurel County declared a state of emergency yesterday, or maybe it's Tuesday, and we're bounced off of them. That way our resources, we can lock into the same resources they can. We can work together in this situation. We have had a few reports of an individual that looked something to match some of the description of the shooter. Our law enforcement, first responders have been quick on the draw on that one and have been out. We had one deputy and Jamie and Brody that were out for way up in the morning, yesterday morning, in the S3 Tower area because they had reported a man on a motorcycle that matched the description. Didn't locate a motorcycle or anybody. Nobody had seen anybody, so it turned out to be negative, which is good. And bad at the same time. I don't want my guys running up on this guy without a safety. Number one. Number two, the quicker this guy is apprehended, the more of a sigh of relief every community can take. So we've got a good working relationship with our other counties, and we want to do our best and our diligence to help in that situation. So that's my report for today. I feel like that's what we need to focus on. Our moving around on in our agenda, district report. Danny, we start with you.
Things moving along.
And I'll tell you guys, me and Robbie have had numerous conversations with the Allen Company, and we were told 3 weeks ago they'd be here, and they're so busy they ain't made it yet. So you know, I don't want the community getting false information on my behalf. I think I'll just let everybody know that we're kind of at their mercy. They're our contractor. We have to wait till they come. We're staying about $100,000 under budget on our asphalt this year, and still getting everything that y'all had asked for done, so we're very thankful for that. But they'll be here, and we're hoping in the next couple of weeks. David, you got anything?
Talking about blacktop, we got several projects done. Like to get a couple more roads through the state.
Yeah.
Secured.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get working on a couple more projects. Hopefully, try to get some of the road fixed. That's the county budget, can't afford to fix it, so they've been really good about giving us extra funding for that. I appreciate it. You guys, let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Garvin, you got anything today? Yeah. Yeah, you know, me and Johnny's had some conversations, and I haven't really got anywhere. There's a neighbor dispute there. Yeah, I probably need to drive down and talk to him next week. I'll do that, Garth. I'll drive down and talk to him. I've talked to him on the phone a couple times. What the issue is water off the road. One day it's going one way, one going the other way, and it's rock down to there, and you're just letting it work for it to go. Sometimes you just can't, you try to come to a compromise on those issues, and sometimes they're just not the best solution to suit everybody. So, Mr. Garvin's worked hard on it, and I know he's been aggravated with it a lot.
The way it is, they go where the water goes, they have both.
That, our north end, road crew's been down there several times and tried, and it just, the water's, and we actually, Ross helped us with that. We sent letters to the man that had diverted the water. He basically built burners to put it all in him. He tore our road up, so I talked to him about that. He understands why we sent him that. He's calmed down some now, so maybe I can go see him next week. And then also, I'm still waiting on Judge Taylor to call me on Alpha 4. He was supposed to got with me last week, and I didn't hear from him.
Yeah, I think we're gonna work out something.
Yeah, maybe we might. Yeah,
Just working,
Look at it.
just before we look at it,
Yesterday, I think. Yeah.
check it out.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all. On sheriff's report, sheriff was out in the meeting today, so we have, but he did give me his tax settlement from 2023. I'm sorry, I didn't get copies made of this. I was working on other stuff, and forgot I would need to make copies of this. But anyway, this is the settlement from all the taxing districts, and sheriff collects the taxes from the taxing districts. And there was credits that were given to every taxing district. We had county, school, library, health, extension, soil conservation, and the state, and fire acres. And everything came up pretty good there. This is absolutely normal. In order to complete the settlement, they had to pay $379.87 to the county, $3,470.45 to the school, $908.70 to the library, $431.75 to the health department, $666.49 to the extension service, $85.81 to soil conservation, $369.01 to the animal service, and $765.30 to the state. And what that does, that zeroes out the account of the taxes that was brought in to the sheriff's office through property tax bills. And this zeroes out the accounts for every taxing district and make sure they get the money that is owed to them for the property taxes that's given. This is something we do every year. There was a CPA that did this, but he card from him, and Daniel had no luck getting one because it just so tight of a window. Didn't really know that Dale wasn't going to, Dale McNew was not going to do this year. So they've had revenue down here last week assisting them, and so tax settlement is good with the state. We just have to approve it on our, take what they do. There's those things. Yes, sir.
Motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next is, jail court, Brian, sorry.
We've got about 68 inmates. Today when I left, which is up a little, been able to get some. And that helps, of course, with the work release, other things. Last month, this state paid for our inmates was $73,000. We've been hoping in Madison County, and that was $3,200. Our phones were $1,300. Classes brought in $15,000. And the medical was $315, plus the refund on our state employees, their salary. Total was $97,000, so that's us a lot for where it's been. We've got a couple of jails that's been helping us out. Madison County's one. Once those guys get final sentence, they don't hold them, so they ship them out. And we've got a pretty good relationship with them. They've been sending them their way. Of course, the work release still doing a lot of work in the community, still mowing right now. So hopefully that'll end pretty soon. But that's about all I have.
When you get done,
Yeah, we're ready for that too.
Sorry, Brian.
You thought I'd talk on it, didn't you? He thought he could just go around me.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian, I appreciate it. Let's see, all right, next we have Foundation for Appalachian, Kentucky, $10,000 grant. This grant is particularly special and for us here in Jackson County, because this grant was at the recommendation of Kurt family member. Dr. Kurt was one for me, and we'll miss him in our community. He was very endowed in the community, big in beekeepers, and he went while he was healthy enough to do it. Retired from the White House Clinic down here, and Jury and Sue know Dr. Kurt way through. But Foundation for Appalachian, Kentucky, they awarded a charitable grant to Fiscal Court, and this grant is for $10,000, and it goes to, and what this is, Brian could probably, he might be able to chime in on this better than I can. This grant gives them the ability that when somebody is getting ready to be released from jail, it helps them to get resources, get back out into society.
It's
make their return to society.
Restart program.
It's a restart program.
And it helps them obtain their driver's license, birth certificates, social security cards. Most of those guys, if they've done any major time, they don't have it. So it's like I tell them, if I leave the house, I hate to forget something, leave something I need. Well, these guys, when they leave jail, I mean, they don't have none of these things. And we're all behind them, encouraging them to do better, get a job, but if you don't have these items, it's nearly impossible unless you have somebody out there that can help you. And a lot of times they just don't have those resources. And
Yeah.
Ruthie's, of course, has been big on this. I know she's really been big on this. We gotta hire someone from part of this grant here well, the 10,000 is what that's for a year. And we've narrowed it down. I think we have one that's really, really serious about it, got a passion for these men and women. Not everybody has that passion, you know. They've got a passion in this thing in this direction.
Yeah.
And, but I deal with these guys and ladies every day. The ones that work, and you all have seen them, I mean, they'll work, and they'll work all day long. They'll accomplish things that other people can't, you know. Sometimes they just not only need a second chance, they may need a 20th chance. But, you know, if people would give up on me and you the first, second time, we probably wouldn't be here today either. So this restarting program, it started with a big heart for those guys. And I think it'll be real good if this person takes the job. It'll most definitely excel. She's currently praying about it, so if she asks me, I won't tell her I feel like she needs to.
Okay.
But it is a good program. Pay it's just $10,000 a year, you know. But it's not going to be for the money. It's going to be for the right purpose and the right reason. And it'll help. It'll most definitely help.
So what we're doing today is we have to accept the, oh, yeah, here's this is the letter. That's it, that explains a little more. So what we're doing is we have to accept the grant for the jail to be able to use to get the restart program started. It tells in that letter it can't be used to pay debts, things like that. But of course, that's taken in the scope of the grant. And like Brian said, Ruthie was one that wrote this grant for us. She's pretty passionate about it too. Ruthie's a good person. And she's, I think that this would be a real good thing. If it helps one person stay out of trouble and keeps them from going back into the system, then it's worth it. Because, you know, if you can make a productive citizen out of them, this is my opinion. I mean, if you make a productive citizen out of them and get them out in society the right way, I know how passionate they are about helping people up there, and I think couldn't pick nobody better than Ruthie than to get this started. So, but we just have to make a motion to accept this grant and get the program started.
Motion.
All right, thank you, Jim. Next, we got Sheriff's Office K-9 COLA surplus from county property. Now, what this is, Zach, Brian has taken the position in the city of McKee as the new chief. He's the trainer, the officer that handled COLA. You have to be trained to handle these dogs. You can't just give her to another officer. So, in order to satisfy requirements of how this dog was purchased, that it has to be surplused out to somebody that can meet the requirements to handle the case. So it will be another police agency. In my opinion, the city of McKee probably pick up on this, but we have to surplus it out first. So there's a real good chance that Cola will stay in Jackson County, but she'll move from the county to the city. But where she is, property is Jackson County Fiscal Court, we have to surplus her out. So I just need a motion for the court to be able to do that. All right. But no, we're not in the dog center. All right, thank you, guys. Next, accept taxing district rates to be printed on the county property tax bill. This is something we do every year. This keeps from having every taxing district to have to send out their own property tax bill. So all of them come in on one bill like they always do. We had to have this tax symbol in before we can print those bills. That's right, back with
Yep.
And so now, as long as the court approves to have them printed on the county property tax bill, we'll be ready to go.
Motion.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Let's go to the state. The
Yeah.
state has approved it. We get back to the 15th.
Good to go.
Go
Okay.
ahead and have a break.
Next, we have a resolution for Liberty Cemetery Road. This road is at Tyner, at Egypt Church, and that's a big cemetery there. Over the period of so many years, there have been a lot of accidents where Williamsburg Road comes out on 421, and a lot of commercial vehicles, tractor trailers especially, getting stuck trying to get out on 421. They usually have a shortcut, come from Highway 30 over 421 if they're going towards Manchester. So the state has, in a project, has received funding to realign that section of road. Basically, from the prints that I saw, they're going to remove if you're coming from Manchester going north, the cemetery will be on the right. They're moving the road over to give them a better approach and a more safer alignment with that curve and approach to come off Williamsburg, that way nobody's getting stuck. It's been a problem in the wintertime, it's been a problem for, and when you pull over that in the dark, you can't see what's going on. And, but anyway, in order to do that, there's a section of road that's in our road system, Liberty Cemetery Road, it circles that cemetery, it's a county road. And they want to adopt that one section of Liberty Cemetery Road into their, and basically take that section of road and they'll make us entrances into the existing road that goes up around the cemetery. So nobody's gonna be cut off from any part of the cemetery. Actually, it'll be better access into that cemetery. You won't have to go up, swing in the church or go down next to the Ed College and swing in that way. You're gonna have a lot better approach going into it. In order to do that, we have to pass a resolution. So this came from the Kentucky Highway Transportation Cabinet, and it says that whereas at a duty call, the meeting of the Jackson County Fiscal Court, the following resolution was duly adopted with the request made by the Jackson County Fiscal Court to accept certain roads and associated right-of-way in the county road system for maintenance and ownership, and having resolved to accept maintenance and ownership of the roadways as set forth below the Transportation Cabinet. A section of Liberty Cemetery Road constructed by KYTC as part of the Highway Plant Project 11-80106.0. The road length is approximately 306 foot. The tract contains an area of .442 acres, which is 19,423 square feet. A full deed description and plan sheet of said property referred to by the project is part of partial 304 tract B is attached to the resolution. Whereas the Commonwealth Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Jackson County Fiscal Court have agreed to previously mentioned acceptance of roadway ownership and maintenance. Now therefore be it resolved by the Jackson County Fiscal Court of Kentucky that this is agreement with the Commonwealth Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways, was adopted and set forth by majority roll call vote of all members of the Jackson County Fiscal Court present, conforming the Constitution, and a resolution having been duly made a permanent part of the meetings of the fiscal court. So, I'll have to sign this, and Ross will have to sign this, and then, Chris Jones, which is the district engineer, will have to sign this. Shirley Chapel, which is the project development, person, will have to sign this. And Jenna Corn, which is their attorney, has already signed this. So basically, we're getting better out of this. No graves will be affected by this moving of the road. That was one thing that I asked first. There'll be no graves moved, none of them be disturbed. So, any questions? Thank you, guys. All right, item I is hire Caleb Spence, County Finance Officer, on a 90-day probation period. I have interviewed about 7 different applicants. I had 2 very well qualified applicants, Caleb being one of them. Both of them had degrees in business administration, and small business administration. Only difference was Caleb has almost got his master's in finance. He'll have a master's in finance and accounting. I feel with, they ain't nobody replacing me. I miss him. Anyway, sorry. I feel like we need somebody that has, and we've talked about these, we need somebody that is financially accounting minded, and that's the career path. Caleb's a graduate of Jackson County High School, he's graduating of Somerset Community College, and he's working on his master's at the University of Cumberland. And I feel like that I brought him in actually 2 more times to talk to him and discuss. I feel like he really wants to do really good with this. I told him it's going to be a challenge, but we need somebody that really knows accounting to help save, so we can get our books straight where we need them. We're behind on, I'll tell y'all, we're behind on our quarterly reports because Amanda did those, and we got to get rolling on that. And I talked to him about that, what challenge that would be, and I feel like he's well qualified. He's worked for us as a dispatcher, got offered a position in the city, and he worked there as a part-time city manager. So he's assistant city manager, I should say. He was learning the ropes of running the city. He wants to do good. He agreed to do this on a 90-day probationary period to make sure that he's going to be able to fit the bill. Y'all got any? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional. I miss you. She was good.
They wasn't no better.
If you feel like it's, you talked to all of them.
Well, I've talked to
If you feel like it needs to, ready to go, get the ground running.
He said if the fiscal court would approve him to be, I asked him yesterday, he said if fiscal court would approve him to be starting in this position, that he would be here Monday morning at 8 o'clock, Rear Road. I talked to the city. I want to keep a good relationship. We just trying to take an employee. We talked to the city, and the city recommended, they feel like, almost like we're holding him back in the position he's got to do what he can. I've not got a bad, I've checked references. I've not got anybody that said, no, he can't do his job. He's a very intelligent young man, good with customer service. You guys know, being in this position, you're going to get every call in the world. I told him, I said, you're taking on a finance job, but you're about to be the dog warden, the trash man, pothole filler. You're going to be everywhere. You're going to have to collaborate with the master. It's going to get ready for fiscal court. If there's something comes in their districts, they need to know about it. You got to have a good working relationship with them. He wants to do good at it. So I feel like we can give him a try. Okay. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Nick, I'm sorry. Did somebody say something? Yeah, that's right. Next on item J, I'm gonna say this for Doug. Hire Michael Newmakowski.
There you go.
Newmakowski
That's a hard work to
as the occupational tax / trash service clerical position. We talked at a couple of meetings about trying to get somebody to do occupational tax and trash bill both. Michael has been an employee of the Madison County Fiscal Court. He works dispatch as a as the managerial position over third shift. He was working on CSEP, that's going away in June 25, so he's going to be out of work in June 25. Michael is married to Danielle Minkowski, which is the city clerk, or assistant clerk. She currently does part-time occupation tax. She's agreed to train him to do the occupation tax. She is doing very well at it. She's doing very well at it. I'll give you this, and I didn't get it in my report, but she brought us a deposit this morning to go in general fund from occupation tax for $350,000. She's brought in probably more than I ever remember her bringing in. The reason why is she's reaching out to every company and saying, are you aware that, we have this ordinance in place, we don't want you to get behind. She's just doing it part-time. So I feel like that if you put a man putting trash and this together, you're defeating two positions and doing it in one position. It's better for the budget of the county. And Michael is a U.S. Army veteran, Navy veteran, sorry, he's a Navy veteran. He spent time in Afghanistan. Very pleasant fellow to talk to. I've interviewed him twice. He's the only one that actually reached out about the possibility of this position. So he's also agreed to a 90-day probationary period to make, that's interactive. We hire people on a 90-day basis, we review them, they're good to go. Y'all got any questions about that?
No, that's not a new position, that's somebody retired.
Right, yeah, I'm sorry, I misstated that.
That's not a, neither one of these are new. That lady retired from occupation tax, so we're just taking that and tacking something else on, basically. So,
Yep.
and I think she's part-time. She worked, 4 days a week before, 3
In 2 weeks' time, she's working 40 hours, so she's working about 20 hours a week. On the busiest times, that's at the end of quarters. We're getting ready to be at the end of the quarter here. People sending their stuff in. A lot of times it's 20 hours every 2 weeks. And she's keeping it up. I have had 0 complaints. And she's agreed to training because she don't want to hinder her position in the city, and I respect that. We have a good relationship, working relationship with the
We
city.
need that in-house.
You need that in-house. We have an office right now, we've got an office right down here in front where people can go in and pay the trash bill and then take their occupation tax. All one day. Got a motion? Got a second, thank you, Jim. All right, now, next is item K. We have a pay request for Big Hill Welcome Center project. That we will get reimbursement once this payment clears. This is for $90,748.70. That grant was in the tune of around 200. Didn't write it down. I feel like it was a little over 200,000. The way this works, the USDA grant, we send in once we get the voucher, we approve to pay the voucher. We send in the payment from our state grant account. As soon as that check clears, they send us the money back. This is 100% reimbursement grant. It costs us nothing. And they're totally restoring the Welcome Center, getting it in its historic value, and then also putting the aspects of being able to use it for the tourism marketing industry. It's a good project. The project manager that we're working with, Nesbitt Engineering, has signed off on this, and everything's up to par, so good. So, got no questions about it. Just need, excuse me,
So,
need a motion.
this is a payment for what they've got done, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Right down to that, they said you got to.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, I'm gonna get it. I mean, or I can provide you copies with it. It's all on the computer. With these payment vouchers, there is a breakdown of everything that's been done, that's been spent. It's about 5 pages long. I mean, right down to the last screw they put the wall in. I'm sorry, I didn't run that off. But I can provide it for y'all, that ain't no problem. Actually, I could put it up on the phone.
If it could.
Yeah, they've been on the outside, they're going to the inside lane. And the second one will do. We get replacing the radio usually work.
You sleep, you
It
don't
could be
know.
usually or something like. Yeah, get a motion going recess, I can call motion.
Motion, who said,
Okay, second.
That motion, like in a second.
Okay, so this is a breakdown, but that's the initial sheet. I got five. Of the, just pass that. That's a breakdown of the cost. It gives the total of the grant there. And then the breakdown of what was done. You got that grant for $138,000. No, wait, it's $232,000. It's still supposed to be done, it's going to get to the end.
How much is that?
I'm sorry, Jerry, it's for $239,700. That is USDA grant. Renovation of the buildings.
What happened?
The copies, the requisition certificate number two, that's what's over right now. Lewis Brothers was the contractor that was awarded. And, so that's what's over right now. $90,748.70. And then your architectural designs, the awarded architectural design. So that payment is actually to Lewis Brothers and Nesbitt. And if you'll see over there, line G, that document, there is a total complete historic date. You see, some of this we paid for last month, I think it was that 19,000. No, wait, I'm wrong, it's this one. Yeah. That's what we're reading. Thing is, we get all that back. Once we pay, you know. It don't come out there, it comes out state grant. the man with the desk, he works with Sam, who, desk with architecture. He's the actual project manager, he's the one that's overseeing. Since they got the award for, being the architecture firm on that, he's the one that got to decide the job, make sure it's all done, and we get the money back, what we're supposed to do. That's the reason he sent us this stuff here. Him and Sandy working together on that. Sandy, assigned him to it. She's busy. You know how busy Sandy is.
They just now get
Yeah, they've been working at first about every day. I haven't actually got to stop in. I was up through there last, I guess it was earlier this week, saw them there on the outside, but I didn't stop in. But Judd said anytime that any of the fiscal court like to go view some of what we're doing, he'd be glad to meet somebody. And Lewis, brother, I met the guy that's over the contract. You want to go with him?
No,
Okay.
I think about 2 weeks ago.
Lewis?
I'll check it out, so I'm all inside, they didn't care.
Yeah, they'll let you check it.
I just hope.
Yeah. Okay.
Second.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Who said that?
And I do apologize, I didn't have it run off before.
That's all right, that's like I said, before you.
Well, yeah, and you need to, support the documents, it's always a good thing. Next is the pay invoice for the Flexi grant. This is for the McCammon Ridge, which is just a bit preliminary name. The Lake Creek Summit Flex, that's not a finalized name, that's just something that we use for the application to secure the funding. This is that. So, this is a $10,000 grant that, that me and Sandy Dover worked on through ARC, Flexi grant, in order to set the design, request the money for that parking there, $4 million that the representative drew, and the fiscal court was able to secure. So, there is a local match of $2,000, but talking to Sandy this morning, the meetings that we've had on it, the volunteer work that's already been done by different boards and committees in this county. She said we're gonna put all that in, the description of work for the in-kind match, and it's gonna take care of $2,000, so basically, it ain't gonna. She said we have enough in-kind volunteer labor already in this project that it will not cost the fiscal court anything. So we have the payment is for $10,000, and it's the same thing. Once that is cleared, it goes right back in, and we pay it out of the state grant account, and there's a little over $1 million in that account. So that's that. That was for the design work on the McCammon Ridge project. Gotta get surveyed. That's the next step. We're meeting, and actually, I'm glad you said that, because I was focused in on this active shooter thing and forgot all about it. But there is a public meeting, September the 28th, at the Jackson County Library, where the plans of this project will be laid out, and we'll be taking public input on the project. So we invite everybody that would like to. We had surveys out at the fair. We had close to 100 surveys filled out and turned in to tourism on this project and what they'd like to see there. So this is another public meeting. We're required to have 3. This will be the second one. So this will be the second public meeting for the community to get input in this project. And the library has graciously allowed us to use their meeting room, and said if we have more people in that room, we'll hold, we can go out in the big area of the library that Saturday morning. It is on Saturday at 8:30 in the morning. They want to set it early so that it wouldn't tie people's Saturdays up all day. They want to set it on Saturday. That way give everybody an opportunity to do it. So that's going on the 28th. And I'll remind you guys, you're welcome to come. Mark might sing for us down there.
He's got a karaoke thing.
He's done great for the karaoke. He is the guru of entertainment, I'll say that. He didn't even pay me to say it. That's, okay, sorry, that's reimbursement for that, I just need motion on that. All right. Next is something I've been approached by community, several members of the community about. The pickleball court at Jack Captain Park is becoming a hit amongst the younger people. They're loving it. We have 2 tennis courts at Worthing Park that are never used. I've had several calls and messages and a few people that came in the office and said, it's a possibility to make that into a pickleball court. Well, I said, we can definitely get an estimate on that and talk about it. The main thing that's got to be done is that court will have to be repaid. It's got cracks in it, that pop bottle sitting there, there's no way to fix it. It's going to have resurface on it. The equipment for pickleball, the nets and stuff like that are very inexpensive, considering what it is. But the estimate that I got was for blacktop resurfacing that court. And there's 2 courts there, which made the possibility of having 2 pickleball courts side by side. I contacted the Alva Company, which is our contractor. They said there's no way. If the court wanted to do it, there's no way we can get to it. So there was another company that I asked them, I said, you know, we don't want to breach any contracts. Would you mind if we got an estimate? They said, go ahead. So there's another company, it's called Affordable Asphalt. They've been working down in Danville. I think they just done some work with the Danville Medical Clinic. I used to work with this guy years ago. He actually run a blacktop plant in Greer. He met Robbie, gave us an estimate on repaving the pickleball court. It cost $19,000 to repave, and that's with a 2-inch cap on it. Now, okay, sorry. That will, that's just resurfacing it. On the, I've told here you, sorry. I've told people in the community that we would definitely get a estimate on it and see where we stood at it. I know we have LGDA money that will cover this, but, I mean, it's just open for discussion. Have y'all had anybody ask you about anything about this?
Both courts.
That's both courts. They're in the same area, they're side by side. So basically, what it would involve is taking down a section of the fence where they could get in there, taking the old tennis court equipment out and let them repave it. Wildcat Fencing Company has reached out to me, and that is they're affiliated with Fracture Line Service. They know that we're trying to get our work project complete. The only thing we like on that ball field project is the backstop. They've reached out to me. There's a real good chance that we can get the labor donated from them, because they want to be a part of our community, and they won't be a sponsor of this. I don't know that I can get the whole thing donated on the fencing, but I know I can the labor. There's a possibility they may just give us the fencing. They ain't come out and said that, but I know that the owner of that company has been very good about sponsoring stuff in him, because he's from here and he wants it to do good. They'll take the fence down first and put it back up in order to get equipment in and out if you want to go with that. They just wrote that down. I have an estimate of that roadway down to there. We can do it any time, but that pickleball court is the one area we're looking at. So I mean, it's, if we want to wait, we can wait. If we want to go with it, we can go with it. He said he's working on his schedule. No outcome said we can't do it. There's no way. But their equipment's a lot bigger too.
Is that one of them?
That's what we're working today, yeah.
Yeah, I got no problem with the court's not being used.
Well, I feel like it will get used, and I'll vouch for it myself. I'm in the key every day about it, and that court is, I mean, they're up here at daylight playing big one, and they love it, and especially the younger kids. Which I probably throw a knee out game, I tried. Ross might be good.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But they are at this pickleball court like at 11 or 11:30 at night. People are playing. One here in McKean.
And I have had a lot of people ask me if we get it up. And I thought it might be a nice addition since we're just getting ready to fix that park. Well, let's put pickleball, give them another reason to be there. Might help with the availability issues as well. Got more people there more times, a lot of times it gets down and stuff. But like I say, we've got LGA money that we can pay for this week. That recreation is one thing you can pay for. So, I mean, we got, it wouldn't take nothing out of the road.
Yeah, that'd be fine, because
That'd be responsive.
it's
It
two
is,
tennis courts.
yeah, it is.
It's twice as big as the road, probably.
Yeah, it's about twice the size of this room.
Get us a couple more estimates on it.
Okay.
Get a thickness, depth, what that is.
You may get like an official estimate instead of something just wrote down.
Well, I mean, yeah, let's get us a couple more estimates.
Okay.
A couple more guys.
I've got some more guys I can contact.
Put a depth on the inch and a half or whatever, check.
Okay. All right,
We'll
we'll do no motion on that, Doug. We'll just table it to the next meeting.
let's get that going.
Motion to table.
And, we'll do the pickleball, let's just get some more estimates on that.
Back in a second, table. Okay. All right. Bills and transfers. I think I gave you all a copy of those. I don't think there's nothing out of order or anything. We'll get Caleb in here Monday and get it going. And then I'll have him come to the next meeting and give a report. We'll let him start doing the actual finance report. I think it'd be a lot better for us all. Is that all right with you guys?
Perfect.
If no issues, I'll entertain the motion that we have to proceed to meeting. Second. All right. Any other things to be brought before the board? Yeah. go ahead.
I do have a couple of comments. If that'd be all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. So I realize this issue doesn't fall directly under the purview of this board. I think just given the reaction and given the reaction that's sparked in the community, I just think it's important to address it here. I know you guys are local leaders in government and local leaders in the community. So many of you know me, and if you don't know me, you probably know me now as the person responsible for the notification that resulted in the 10 commandments coming down in Jackson County schools. This wasn't something that was just suddenly decided. I had brought these and other issues to the school board years ago, 2019 and 2020. And at the time, they were either minimally addressed or ignored completely. And it's just, I really didn't want to push the issue. I didn't want to inflame the community. So I ended up making that notification. We had a new superintendent. I understood we had a new attorney in the district. I thought it would be an opportune time to really just raise those concerns again. So I made that notification, and the end result was that they decided to remove the commandments in all Jackson County schools. At this time, or at that time, after that happened, a prominent local podcaster began inquiring as to who was responsible for this. And I just know it's a small town, there's small town whispers. I thought it would be good, I mean, we've had discussions before, I thought it would be good to address this with them, you know, just in the hopes of fostering dispassionate, reasoned discussion. And really the end result was that it seemed to detonate in the community rather than become a discussion point. I realize I should have foresaw that happening. But really what's happened is, you know, the narrative, the significant narrative being pushed around on social media is that I've somehow stripped the community of some religious rights. And I think it's worth noting that, I mean, the very next day, children were wearing 10 Commandments, and those personal expressions of faith were happening in numbers that dwarfed any commandment on all the walls in all the schools combined. So, I mean, the issue here really isn't stopping anybody from practicing their religion. It's really about preventing our public institutions and our schools from really promoting that religion that is supposed to be a matter of personal faith. So, I mean, since all this has become public, I've heard from many people in the community, you know, voices of support, and I think what's really been surprising is there's been a lot of people who have said, we've had these concerns for a long time, and we've been afraid to bring them forth because of what's happened. And some of them have been actually pretty concerning. I mean, there have been, people have been giving me videos where they're showing Zoom virtual classrooms that have become de facto church services. I mean, it's religious material, it's religious music, prayer, and that kind of stuff. And while that's fine for church and for worship in our public institutions, our kids they're there to learn. So it just seemed to me that with the amount of reports from people I've seen who are afraid to voice those concerns, that these aren't isolated incidents, and it's probably a lot more prevalent even than I am aware of. So I mean, really, I think based on the reaction that I received and am still receiving, it just seems like there's no wonder that people aren't giving voice to these concerns. So I really can't say I blame them. I mean, it's been significant enough that, I mean, my daughter's pictures being circulated on Instagram, and her schoolmates are inciting violence. I mean, the superintendent's press release, you know, basically alluded to the fact that these are the kinds of things that we expect from California, this kind of threats of legal action. It just seems to be that either more local members or the more vocal members on social media have kind of latched onto that as a chorus of, hey, get out and go back to California. And it's really disheartening. So, yeah, I mean, it's gotten to the point where this local podcast host on his podcast is referred to me as public enemy #1. And he's using terms like, I've infiltrated this community. And you know, I've lived here for almost a decade. I'm part of this community. I've volunteered for this community. And I've even volunteered for the podcast organization that's now repudiating me. So, I mean, I just want to be absolutely clear that this is really not a California export. I'm no more than the Second Amendment is a Texan export. I mean, this appeal to these constitutional values is an American thing. It doesn't matter where I'm from. I can appeal to that First Amendment and that Establishment Clause anywhere in this country, and I'd be absolutely right to do so. So also as a part of his podcast, he ran a poll just to get a gauge of who supported their removal. And it was really surprising. It was upwards of 10 to 15% of the people that didn't support their placement to begin with. And it just seems to be, if those people had to do any more than check that box, they wouldn't do it out of the kind of fear that all of this reaction has really brought to light. So some folks believe that removing the commandment means that faith is being removed from our community. And that's really simply not true. I mean, there have just been so many more personal expressions of faith in our schools And, I mean, as a reaction to this, but they're perfectly legal, they can be celebrated, and they can be encouraged. Just the only not legal part of this is having the commandment on the walls. So, I mean, in closing, I understand, you know, many of our leaders are very religious. I understand that you are very religious. I absolutely respect that. My wife and my kids are very religious. I feel like this issue is going to continue to grow because it just happened. And I just wanted to bring it to the attention of this group because, again, I know you're local leaders in the community. I know that as those voices get loud, people are going to come to you for advice and for guidance. And I just really want to make sure that as we go through this together, that there's just a whole lot of reason and restraint behind those discussions, and that terms like infiltrator and, you know, public enemy number one, those are dangerous. And when people latch onto that, it really removes the comfort that my family had enjoyed in this place. So I mean, I just thought it would be beneficial to end with a quote from our founders. And I picked James Madison, who said, "Religion and government will both exist in greater purity, the less that they are mixed." And I hope it's recognized that it's our founders that put all those protections in place. They put the establishment clause that I'm appealing to in place. And I love our community, I love our kids. I just wanted to make that statement. I know you guys are going to become aware of it. And if you don't have any questions, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Josh. I'll say this, Josh, me and Josh are neighbors for probably about 15 years, maybe longer than that. And Josh has been a good neighbor for a long time, and I count him as a friend. And I appreciate you coming to visit us, making some word to where your stands at. I mean, I respect Josh being a member of the community, and he's got the right to his beliefs. He knows how my beliefs are, and we never fell out.
I mean, just like our founders,
Yeah, just like our family.
they
He's got a
disagree
Christian
on
family.
slavery, and they still made it work, and they still made a country out of it.
He's got three of the most precious kids that I've had the pleasure of living.
It's all my wife's fault, yeah.
Yeah, I know that. His daughter has suffered from migraines for a long time. Thankfully, finally got some treatment to help. But we do appreciate you coming to address the court. I don't look at you as public enemy number one. I look at you as my neighbor. We may have different beliefs and different looks on things, but that don't mean we can't work with each other.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And when Tommy Hayes was county attorney before Ross, he checked the attorney general. He said as long as you had historical documents on the wall, you had the right to place it.
You can't,
Is that true?
Historical context. Yes.
But not the Ten Commandments.
The Ten Commandments, yes, but just their placement was by itself on the wall.
Oh,
and
okay.
there was
They have to
no-
have-
no-
That's what the attorney general did.
They have to be like that back there.
Those things back there.
Well, and I think, I mean, this had come before the state twice before, in the 80s and in 2005. And one of the things that the Supreme Court said about it was, if the posted copies of the Ten Commandments are to have any effect at all, it will be to induce the school children to read, meditate upon, perhaps venerate and obey the commandments. However desirable this might be as a matter of private devotion, it is not a permissible state objective. So, I mean, absolutely they want people to have those private beliefs. When it becomes an imposition on our children, I mean, we just know that this community is becoming more diverse. And, I mean, I know this is a personal matter, but as my daughter has started to question her faith, she's observed that there's an underrepresented group at the school, and there are children who are atheists who are afraid to give voice to that. And it just seems to be that having that religious symbol, I mean, just anybody in this room would understand immediately if we put Sharia law up on the wall. You know, it would just be, you know, that's not the while my family is deeply religious, I just feel like our public institutions have, I mean, just like the Supreme Court, they have to be neutral in matters of religion.
Josh, we appreciate you coming and addressing us.
Let's not work for them. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Okay, thank you.